In a quiet little town, there lived a boy named Alex. For Alex, the world revolved around one thing: soccer. He knew every player, every team, every legendary goal. The worn-out soccer ball in his room was his most prized possession. He'd spend hours juggling it, perfecting his touch, and imagining himself on a huge field, the crowd chanting his name. But there was a catch. As much as he loved the game, Alex was terrified to actually play it. Every afternoon, he'd go to the local park, but he wouldn't join the games. Instead, he'd sit under the big oak tree at the edge of the field, watching the other kids play. He'd see them pass, shoot, and celebrate, and a knot would tighten in his stomach. "They're so good," he'd whisper to himself. "I just mess it up. I'd be the worst one out there." The fear of making a mistake, of being laughed at, was like an invisible wall keeping him on the sidelines. His best friend Zach was the complete opposite. Zach was a whirlwind of energy on the field. He wasn't the most skillful player, but he was fearless. He'd chase every ball, take every shot, and if he missed or stumbled, he'd just laugh, get up, and try again. Zach noticed Alex sitting alone day after day. One sunny Tuesday, Zach ran over to Alex, his face flushed and a huge grin on his face. "Alex! Come on, we need one more player. It'll be fun." Alex shook his head, his eyes fixed on the ground. "No, thanks, Zach, I'm good. I just like watching." Zach sat down beside him, the grin fading into a look of concern. "Why not? You love soccer more than anyone I know. You're always practicing in your yard. I've seen you, you've got some great moves." "It's different in my yard," Alex mumbled. "Out there, everyone's watching. What if I miss an easy pass? What if I trip over the ball?" Zach put a hand on his friend's shoulder. "So what if you do? I miss passes all the time. Yesterday, I tripped over my own feet and fell flat on my face. Everyone laughed, and you know what? I laughed too. It's just a game, Alex. The fun part isn't being perfect. It's trying." Zach's words hung in the air. Alex looked up from the ground and watched the game. He saw a kid try a fancy trick and fail, but his teammates just encouraged him. He saw another player miss a wide-open shot, and nobody got angry. They were just playing, having fun. Zach was right. The fear he felt was something he had built up entirely in his own mind. Zach stood up and held out his hand. "Look, don't think about scoring or making the perfect play. Just come out and run with us. Pass the ball to me once. That's it, can you do that?" Alex looked at Zach's outstretched hand, then back at the field. He took a deep, shaky breath. It was just one pass. He could do that. He placed his hand in Zach's and let his friend pull him to his feet. As Alex stepped onto the field, his heart pounded like a drum. The other kids smiled and welcomed him. A few moments later, the ball rolled toward him. For a split second, the old fear crept back in. But then he saw Zach, open and waiting. He didn't overthink it. He just focused on the ball and his friend. He drew his foot back and made a simple, clean pass right to Zach's feet. Zach trapped it perfectly and gave Alex a thumbs up and a huge smile. A wave of relief and a tiny spark of joy washed over Alex. He did it, and nothing bad happened. In fact, it felt good. He started running, following the play, a real part of the game for the very first time. He made mistakes that day, of course. But every time he did, he just remembered Zach's words, took a breath, and kept on playing. The invisible wall had crumbled. Alex was no longer just a spectator, he was a player. And he had never felt more alive. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, the biggest barriers are often the ones we build in our own minds. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. See you next time.